What is up, guys? Tired here, and welcome to another character explained video, now featuring the ninja slash thief from the Wutai clan of Final Fantasy VII, Yuffie. First off, I would like to give a quick shout out to the creators of the DissediaDB.com website, as well as the Tonberry Troop for the infographics on the DFFOO subreddit, as most of the information that I will be sharing with you guys came from those two sources. Also, apologies for the late video for her, but as always, it's better late than never. So without further ado, let's proceed on checking out her kit. So first of all, Yuffie is a range attacker that has powerful niches. She can debuff enemies and provide great utility. And she can even provide Brave Battery. Her first skill, Snatch, at base form is a range Brave attack that adds the target's Brave to Yuffie's own Brave. It randomly copies one buff from the target and extends that buff's duration by one turn. Equipping the Snatch Extend passive gives the skill 2 additional uses, and its Brave hits is increased to 4. So, as said earlier, at base form, Yuffie's Brave is raised, but now, aside from raising Yuffie's Brave, the target's Brave is reduced by half, followed by the Brave hits. The skill gains a tremendous increase in total Brave potency and an overflow of up to 120% of max Brave. Now, instead of copying a random debuff from the enemies, Yuffie now steals the debuff and extends the duration of the buff by one turn. The skill now triggers an HP attack after use. Equipping her 15 CP weapon passive grants Snatch a small max Brave up for one turn. This skill is somewhat similar to Balthier's Snatch Shot and Great Aim in terms of stealing enemies' buffs. But one upside to Yuffie Snatch is that it has a gravity effect that can reduce the enemy's Brave by half. Her second skill is called I Don't Need This. At base form, using this skill transfers Yuffie's own debuffs to all her enemies. Those debuffs' duration are extended by one turn, and Yuffie is now granted her Now It's Perfect buff for 4 turns. This buff raises her max Brave, attack, and speed. Its Extend passive gives the skill 2 additional uses. The skill now inflicts initial Brave down, max Brave down, attack down, and defense down for 3 turns. And then, Yuffie transfers her debuffs to the enemies. The skill now batteries the party based on max Brave and then triggers a 2-hit AoE Brave plus AoE HP attack to enemies. The HP damage is split equally if there are more than one enemy. However, there is a moderate increase in Brave damage if there is only one target. The skill also gains an overflow of up to 150%. Yuffie's buff, Now It's Perfect, turns her HP attack into HP attack plus, which raises her Brave before the HP attack. Equipping her 35 CP weapon passive grants the skill I Don't Need This an additional use. The debuff Throwback is now AoE, and the duration of all thrown debuffs is extended by 5 turns. The Now It's Perfect buff is improved, and the duration is extended to 8 turns. She also now gains Brave Battery based on her max Brave. While Now It's Perfect is active and this passive is equipped, Her Brave attack turns into Brave Attack Plus, which gives the party Brave Battery based on max Brave. So, this is Yuffie's unique ability and her niche. She can transfer strong debuffs to enemies such as HP down debuff, salve, and etc. This is a very useful skill to have in some dimensions and stages wherein enemies does tons of debuffs. Equipping her EX weapon Fuma Shuriken gives her the ability to use Gauntlet. This skill is a 6-hit AoE range Brave attack plus single target HP attack. The Brave hits are dispersed when there are multiple enemies. It has a Brave overflow of 120% and the skill deals 20% HP damage to non-targeted enemies. The debuff No Cheating is inflicted to the enemies while Yuffie gains the Water God's protection buff for 6 turns. No Cheating is somewhat the same to Setzer's Freeze debuff as it prevents enemies from gaining Brave. The difference is that the enemies inflicted with no cheating cannot gain buffs as well. Water God's protection, on the other hand, raises the party's max Brave and attack. Max limit breaking her EX weapon basically improves the EX ability in terms of damage and recast speed. Upgrading her EX weapon into EX Plus drastically improves the stats given by the weapon. At 0.3, Gauntlet gains a raise in Brave potency and max overflow limit. At 1.3, Yuffie's max Brave and attack is raised. At 2.3, now it's perfect and Water God's protection is granted to Yuffie for 6 turns at the start of the quest. At 3.3, the Gauntlet's Brave hits is increased to 9 and the skill's total Brave potency is tremendously increased. The HP damage dealt to non-targets is raised as well. Now, Water God's protection turns her Brave Attack and Brave Attack Plus into Brave Attack Plus Plus, which increases the number of Brave hits to 2 and also provides Brave Battery. Her HP Attack and HP Attack Plus turns into HP Attack Plus Plus, which raises her Brave before attacking. It also turns into a range Brave plus HP attack and gains an overflow of up to 120%. Some notable passives: her level 58 Crystal passive gives the party a max Brave up aura while Yuffie is buffed. Her 68 passive also gives an aura to the party that raises the party's max Brave and attack by 10%. Her AA ability raises the party's Brave based on the targeted enemy's Brave and giving her the AA Extend passive gives the party a max Brave up buff for 4 turns. So as you can see, Yuffie is a strong range attacker that can fill the gaps of your team where you would need multiple characters to fill. She provides great niches such as stealing buffs from the enemies, transferring her own debuff to enemies, and preventing enemies from gaining Brave. Aside from that, she can also act as a Brave battery to the party. However, being able to do so many things means that she does not really excel in anything, such that her debuffs are not very impactful and has, low turn count for the debuffs. And also, due to the number of debuffs that she can inflict, you have to be careful as it can push off other debuffs on the enemies. The recommended ingot is of course 3 out of 3 to be able to get the HP attack plus plus, which can improve her longevity. As for the artifacts, 3 attack plus 108 is recommended and 2-star debuff attack up can be used to further increase your attack, and max brave plus 330 is also a great alternative. So yeah, there you have it, guys. My quick explanation to Yuffie. Please leave a like if you were able to learn something about her, and yeah, let me know down in the comment section below if you have her built up. Are you having fun using her? I personally did build her up and use her to clear the Brothers Chaos, as well as of course as the super synergy for farming the Ultimate Brothers board. So yeah, guys, good luck to your games, and I will see you in the next video.